Good evening and welcome to News on Prime TV. I'm Hassanji Lavala. First, we take a look at tonight's top stories. A large number of candidates are in the fray for general elections from the north and east. The Indian Foreign Secretary congratulates the President on the positive developments. India is to continue its assistance to Sri Lanka. The holy relic of St. Anthony has been brought to Sri Lanka. And an overseas parliamentary election concludes in Iraq amidst acts of violence. Now for the news in detail. Indian Foreign Secretary Nirupama Rao has said that the large number of candidates in the fray for the general election from the north and east showed the enthusiasm of the people for the democratic process. She extended an invitation on behalf of Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh to President Rajapaksa to make an early visit to India. Government of Sri Lanka. Extending her congratulations to the President on his resounding victory, Indian Foreign Secretary said that many positive changes have taken place in Sri Lanka since she was last here as the Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka. The Foreign Secretary said that a special concession will be granted for the program launched by the President to improve English knowledge in people. During the recent past, more than 3,000 devotees participated in a religious function dedicated to St. Anthony at Kachatiyu Island. Mrs. Rao pointed out that this is a positive development with regard to the improvement of mutual understanding between the two countries. The Foreign Secretary expressed her happiness about the resettlement of people in the liberated areas. She said that attention has gone away from the international community in this connection. She stressed that the Indian government will extend its assistance to the development of Sri Lanka. The construction of the Northern Rail Track, the proposed coal power plant and fisheries activities between the two countries also came up for discussion. President Rajapaksa said that he is expecting to work with the candidates who will be elected in the northern and eastern provinces. The Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Shri Ashok Kant, Presidential Secretary Lalit Veratunga, Secretary to the Foreign Ministry Romesh Jayasinghe and Governor of the Central Bank Ajit Niwad Cabral were among those who participated. India is considering Sri Lanka's request for additional aid to ensure resettlement of internally displaced persons. External Affairs Minister S.M. Krishna said Sri Lanka had conveyed to India that it needs building material to house these IDPs. He told reporters in Bangalore that the government of India has so far been able to support to some extent and they were now considering how much more can be done. Asked about the condition of Tamils in Sri Lanka after the presidential elections, Krishna pointed out that the conditions were improving rapidly. Krishna also said that the rules of the movement of the IDPs had been relaxed in the camps. The holy relic of St. Anthony has been brought to Sri Lanka. It was brought to Katunayake Bandaranaike Airport this afternoon. Members of Catholic clergy led by Colombo Archbishop Dr. Malcolm Ranjith received the relic after performing a special service. Thereafter it was placed on a special pavilion. It will be taken to many locations throughout the country for the Catholic devotees to pay their homage up to 23rd of this month. The relics will be exhibited at St. Anthony's churches at Kochikade, Bandaravilla, Thaladi, Mena, Medavachiya, Palandenia and Kandy. It will also be placed at the Bishop's house in Ratnapura to facilitate the devotees. It will also be taken to Manipai in Jaffna. Judges of the court-martial to try Sarath Fonseca will be announced tomorrow. The Lakbima Sunday newspaper reported that the The Lakbima Sunday newspaper reported that the court-martial is due to be appointed tomorrow afternoon to take up the case against Sarath Fonseca, who is in military custody. The summary of evidence on the charges has been completed. It is due to be handed over to the Army Commander this week. The panel of judges to the court-martial will be announced after discussion of the Army Legal Committee, which is due to meet under the patronage of Army Chief Lieutenant General Jagat Jayasuriya. The meeting is scheduled for tomorrow after the receipt of the summary of evidence by the Army Commander. On more local stories, over 500,000 tourists are expected to visit Sri Lanka this year as the travel trade bounces back strongly from the effects of the war. Some hotels are reported to be refusing new reservations till end of March. Tourism authorities have planned an aggressive global promotion campaign to draw visitors with events such as night surfing. Attempts are being made to send the message about the island's attractions through the Sri Lankan diaspora as well. With tourist arrivals up 31.9% in January alone from a year ago, the authorities expect the total number of visitors this year to increase by 25 to 30%. Ending of Sri Lanka's 30-year conflict resulted in an immediate increase in tourist arrivals. Japan International Cooperation Agency has offered $20 million to improve infrastructure in 5 towns that tourists frequently visit: Anuradhapura, Sigiriya, North Central area, Nuwara and Kandy in the Central Hills, and Negombo on the west coast. The government has taken measures to set up 10 large-scale coconut oil production plants in the northern province. The project will be implemented by the Coconut Development Authority under the guidance of Minister of Plantation Industries D.M. Jayaratna. The plants will be set up in Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, Alampil and Pale in the northern province at the cost of 30 million rupees. The assistance of private sector will also be sought in this connection. It is expected to produce 20 metric tons of coconut oil daily at these 10 plants. This will provide direct and indirect employment opportunities for 30,000 families in the north. The Coconut Development Authority said that the production will commence in 2011. It pointed out that this would pave the way for the export of coconut oil. The initial planning in this connection has already been completed. A team led by the chairman of the Coconut Development Authority, Kirtisri Veerasinghe, has already visited the area. The development loan granted by the International Monetary Fund is being utilized for agricultural projects. The $25 million loan from the International Fund for Agricultural Development will enable the country's National Agribusiness Development Program to help small producers, women, landless households and young people in rural areas. The program will help increase the incomes of smallholder farmers by 20 to 30%. Another goal is to help farmers become directly involved in processing and marketing their products such as fruits, vegetables, spices, cereal, milk and dry fish. The Rome-based agency said the program will provide business expertise so that farmers can take part in joint ventures as equal partners with the private sector. They will have access to financial resources so that they can take advantage of emerging opportunities, building their own processing capacity and having better access to markets. Increased on-farm productivity will lead to better farm gate prices for their produce. Sri Lanka was the very first recipient of an IFAD loan in April 1978, and since then the agency has funded 15 projects in the South Asian nation for a total investment of more than $217 million. For news from around the world, we take a look at Prime World now.